report card check on the state of the nation.
State of the
nation. Who else? Who better to tell us about it than the man who's at the center of it all? Deputy government spokesperson Gabriel Muthuma. We call him Cham. Let's talk about his advisors.
Yes.
After Gen Zs did what the Gen Zs do best, the president came out and says, you know what, I'm going to cut my advisors by 50%.
Your design.
And he did it for like 3 minutes.
What do you mean he did it for like 3 minutes?
I mean, he cut his advisors in State House. And before you knew it,
they're back.
Owalo is deputy chief of staff. Moses Kuria is senior advisor economics. Dennis Itumbi, head of creatives.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that, Jeff?
Seriously, it's a bloated State House.
No. There's so much that needs to be done. And the president has a bird's eye view of how he wants to accomplish it. And so when he chooses somebody to run some of his programs, kindly let's allow him to do so. Because at the end of the day, it all goes towards his scorecard.
There's a lot of overlapping of duties here. Owalo gets into the deputy chief of staff.
Yeah.
That's Rigadi's job. That's Mudavadi's job.
No.
I mean, who's going to be doing what?
They're
tripping all over each other.
He is running a program very well defined. And again, Jeff, there's this nuance really of
you're speaking very softly these days. I don't know. You're not shouting anymore. Are you okay?
He knows who's buttering his bread.
No. You know, Waswahili, Igunza Waswahili usema zungumza kwa vishindo utasikika, zungumza kwa utaratibu utaeleweka. Need I say more? So there's this, and I don't know where we got it from, Jeff. Half of the time we think, sometimes it's as if the president does not know what he's doing. We have curated this, that sometimes we know better, but there's nothing that can be far from the truth, as that particular statement. We allow the president to choose his team, and at the end of it all, tell him, Bwana Rais, this is what we expected. This is what you've achieved. This is your scorecard. That is the beauty of our democracy. And from time to time, my brother, a leader will be faced with these challenges, But what really counts is his deliverables. And I believe we are heading in the right direction. So let's not focus on what you're calling overlapping of duties, who's supposed to do what. No, it is well curtailed on who is doing what.
But of all the people in the country, Gabriel, ni Moses Kuria peke yake na Owalo wenye walikuwa the most suitable individuals to occupy those positions.
And some of these things, when the president talks about Band 1 having just 12% of students, and then going deep to explain why he feels so let down by the entire, again, here I say let down, by the entire infrastructure that was there. Igunza, that should also create a level of capital for us to ask questions. Do you know what came out? First of all, even as we talk about nearly half of our universities and colleges that were technically insolvent, that are now breaking out from that cycle. Really, they were going to be shut down. And I think 1 or 2 had already been shut down. Yeah? Wrong funding models, corruption, what have you. And here we are being told of a history where a poor child, from the get-go, Jeff, has been disenfranchised. And we are putting up a system that will or is going to ensure that imbalance is taken care of. Jeff, the reason why I feel what the president is talking about, Igunza, is because I lived it. From the get-go, Madare, Ulukunachilwevi, you look at what is expected of you, and to be honest, you are at the end of the line. You can't. The issue was not even getting there. The issue was asking for a chance to compete, and it was not coming. So ask yourself, Jeff, why is there the highest dropout of kids within the slums who make it to colleges? That should be, or should actually ensure people are asking these hard questions. Why are we not able to trickle down that effect to the people who need it most? Most of the time, these children, even us when we were growing up, we were not asking really for handouts. No, we were just asking for a place to be able to compete just like every other child.
It wasn't convincing what he said yesterday. The students were not convinced, and they kept asking questions.
And the beauty of that conversation is that, again, we think that all of us must see through the same lenses. If no, 136 or more, what about 1,000 children have applied, and they've been graded on those bands. There are those who have felt that they've been placed on the wrong band, and they have gone ahead and reapplied. Yeah, and there are cases, as you heard yesterday, the president saying they are already been looked into, and some have really gotten favorable replies. And they've been put in a band that they belong. So the question has been, are we where we used to be? No. Are we heading in the right direction? Definitely. But the question that we must all ask, Jeff, is, why was it not working then? And why is what the president is proposing better? That is the conversation. And the president made his case. And we do not really need to agree, but there's one thing that suffices that is true,
which is
that the old model wasn't working.
President Ruto was once
the
minister in charge of higher education.
Correct.
So he was part of the mess that he's talking about.
No. Again, you guys were not listening to the president. When he came in, he said, he first of all told all of us that there was a bursary, I think, of 100 million, right? That used to be at the ministry. And he said that bursary used to be given to the children of who's who. And I think that has been the price of our instrument, Jeff. And I'll tell you shortly, after I finish executing this point. He also is the vanguard of TVETs. You know very well, Jeff, TVETs have worked magic even in other jurisdictions. For instance, in the US, community colleges, you know what they've been. So all of us were looking at a degree, and we thought that was the only way out. But now look at how TVETs have changed things, into effecting skill and the efficiency that we are talking about. Look at the people who are being churned out from those TVETs, and they are going ahead to eke an amazing living, Jeff. So in hindsight, you can't say that the president was part of that mess. What he was saying and what he said is that he knew even back then there were challenges. And he made it a core thing when he took over power. That's among the key things that instituted was a team that would look into what was happening in our institutions. It's in the public domain. Schools, universities were closing down. They were hogged in debt. Employees of these universities, some went without salaries for 2 years. You had one of the professors, one of the VCs saying. But now, they have come out of that doldrum because of the interventions that have come with this new model. What I'm saying, Jeff, is at some point, all of us has to agree with this conversation that I do not think, Iguza, that there will come a time whether we will say we have a perfect system. And that is why the IONAS is on us to improve every system that we feel is going to take us to the greater heights of where we need to be.
Spoken like a true government spokesperson. It's very unconvincing.
Yeah.
But that's your job, is to try and convince us.
And protect the government.
Yes, so let's move on. Let's move on a little bit despite last minute pleas and bargaining and all kinds of deals going on, backroom deals.
Yeah.
Today might be a mess because
with Kuppet,
Nut said the strike was off.
Yeah.
Kuppet said the strike is on. Last week, I think they got 10 billion shillings out of the 14 they were looking for. 13.3.
13, yeah.
13.3, sorry. It might turn out to be a mess. Another mess.
I think we are really burdening our students, and I'm glad they are also starting to speak out. I saw in one of the dailies, yes, yeah, KCSE candidates. It's in the dailies.
Yeah.
Plea to teachers to call off strike. So I think TSC releasing, and Jeff, probably you can guide us on this. Releasing 13 billion towards the agreement on the CBA that they had. You cannot tell me that's not a good gesture.
It wasn't 13.
It was
10.
It was 10.
Yeah, I read somewhere 13.3. Yeah.
That's what they were demanding.
Correct.
So, but among other things that they said, there were agreements that were not, But from where I'm seated is that all these things can be ironed out without affecting learning. Primarily knowing that this is third term. Some of the CBAs that were agreed upon, if they are genuine, if there was goodwill, if the spirit of that agreement, that all stakeholders came and said this is how we want to run this particular sector, if that which was agreed can be made available, that would be a perfect setting for all of us, meaning that the teachers would be taken care of and the students will also be taken care of, and also all of us improve the quality of our education, because to us that is the underlying issue that we must produce. So it's to call upon, Jeff, again, it's to call upon people to sit down and discuss and agree and come to a common place where everybody is okay with what has been discussed and agreed. And I think this microphone is I've moved from my microphone to a much better.
Much better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jeff, you see, there are things you do. You give me microphones that are not working. This one is working.
This one.
Check one. Did you hear what Warren Buffett, how he checks the microphones? Did you hear?
No.
Yeah, I think it's million 1, million 2, or billion 1, or billion. Anyway, that was a good banter.
1 billion, 2 billion,
yes,
3 billion.
Yes. So again, Jeff, we go back to what we are saying, that the only thing that can bring a solution that will not interrupt learning is by even Kuppet, just like Nat, sitting down with the officials and ironing out these things. I guarantee you, if that happens in the spirit of looking for a workable solution, it will be found. And that's what we are calling, all of us are calling for. And I think with what I'm hearing going around, hopefully this may be arrested before it causes any major issues.
Isn't it shameful that Jeff lazima president akae na wanafunzi ndio things ikwe ironed out, yet kuna watu wamepewa positions
na wanalipwa.
President ameacha kazi yake yenye tulimpatia, sasa ni kuzunguka.
Sasa yeye
na wanafunzi na wazee na wamama.
Sasa yeye ni CS.
Is it not shameful? Wewe umetembea.
Ni ukweli.
Gabriel, umetembea, unajua kazi ya rais.
Ni ukweli. The systems that we have, whether it's the education model, whether it's shift that we've been talking about, they may not be perfect. They will require improvement on periodically.
Yeah.
But at the stage that they are in a state of usefulness. We should not really chastise them, because there is a lot of thinking that has gone into it. So the best we can do is to start supporting these structures. Jeff, you know very well, our education, if we refine it, if we make it to be an area where efficiency is the order of the day, you can imagine how we are received when we move out of this country to other jurisdictions. We are still considered to have a superior kind of education in our region, and for a good reason. So imagine if we continue upscaling it, what will happen in the next 10, 20 years, Jeff? That is the kind of conversation I think we should be having. Not to say every time something comes up, which a lot of thinking has gone into it, we are the ones to rubbish down.
Yeah, but then your boss is a micromanager.
Says who?
It's evident.
He wants to be everywhere every time.
Come on.
Yo, bro. I mean, he's even government spokesperson at the same time.
Yeah.
No. You see, when the head of state communicates, he is not only communicating value, he is communicating essence.
Yeah.
And we need to get it right.
He
He
goes the same way.
communicates to
And
people.
he delegated.
People who only clap because he's president.
Yeah.
But ukienda kwa street, let me tell you, ukikuja kwa ground,
Mambo ni.
watu are reasoning, they anything the president says, everyone is rubbishing.
I told you, in the lifetime of a leader, there is a time that will come that he will be faced with guiding people because he knows he's right. And they may sincerely not believe he is. But the freedom will come when he really presses to show them that this is the best way to go. Can I give you an example to what I've just said, apart from what we're talking about education? Was the Obamacare. It happened in another jurisdiction. Obama sold that health model when very few people thought it would work. Am I right, Jeff? Look at it today. No. Look at it today. He believed that this was the best model for the American citizens.
So
look at it today.
Back home,
Look at it. I've just given you an example of a leader that he was all over, Jeff. He was all over selling that.
But you had to go to America for
No,
example.
I'm just telling you. No. Yeah, to give you an example, because you're saying, sometimes we devalue the leader if he's talking about something. I've just given you an example.
Morara.
Just take a look, Gabe. I'm sure you looked at it this morning when you woke up at 4 a.m. before coming.
No, I haven't. Wait.
You know this guy.
To sanitize the government.
Yeah, he's been going around exposing projects and
that are
stalled on non-starters, and he videos them. I mean, it's not fake news. He actually videos. He shows the plaque where the thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen. Oh, the ones from 2018, 2016, 2019. Those ones. Are those the ones you're talking about?
Part of those.
But whose name is on it? Whose name's on the plaque?
Trust me.
Your boss's name.
Politics of the day. Politics of the day notwithstanding.
Yes.
So, Jeff, we cannot say we were not here when the politics were playing out. Allow me to give you one project. Probably he's not actually talked about it. One that was affected by politics. It actually hurt me to just go and see the kind of ruin that still, is in that place.
Which place?
That was in Itare Dam.
In where?
Itare.
Oh, Itare, yeah, the dam.
If you see the kind of machinery, Egunza, that's lying idle there, rotting, billions worth of shillings. Guess why that project was stopped?
Why?
Politics. We reduced the capacity of government to pursue an individual. Thank you, Jeff, for shaking your head, because you know it's true. This is what we are doing. When you have pyrethrum farmers, you have farmers within Kuresoi or that area that were waiting for that dam to produce water. The amount of monies that were put in still lies idle because of politics. And that's why the president said we need to get our politics right. What the president we can be here until cows come home, but we know the kind of politics that played. If I go to initiate a project, it must be backed by something called the purchasing power. And if I don't have a way, Igunza, of unlocking that purchasing power, it will never happen. So, dirty politics has led to a lot of mwana inchi really getting trapped into fleazy games that should have never existed. Just because I do not like you, Jeff, does not mean I cannot support something that you initiated that you may not even benefit. It will benefit mwananchi wa kawaida. But just because it is you nainulia handbrake.
But that's what we
and
do.
we've seen it, and we've seen it happen. So,
And
but that's what we do. That's what we do.
And is that how powerless
is
the government is, that politics can actually overrule?
No.
Ni agenda ya kukula
Watu
pesa.
wakwe-
back in the day, it was when the president came in. He looked at so many of these projects, yeah, and this is where leadership comes in. Which ones need to be urgently delivered? Which ones can be foregone? Not necessarily you do away with them, but work on them at a later date. So you prioritize which projects need to be completed. And that is why you see the president has earmarked some of the projects, to really be done quickly, because they rank high in the order of priority.
Okay.
So what the president is doing, by the way, and I know where you're going, where you say, where the president is going to launch, everything he's launching now is very prioritized. No, it's very prioritized. For instance, you have seen him going to places and people following him said, "Oh, you did this, you are here 7-8 years ago." So you finished the installed projects, Itare and the likes being one of them, because to me that is a very idealistic project that needs to be done as a matter of supreme
I've got
urgency.
2 words for you.
Yeah,
Launching,
launching priority project. Yeah, need I say more? Politics played in there.
So what politics played?
And so
when the contractor, according to one of our audience here, left the site citing financial reasons, what politics is Gabriel talking about?
Yeah.
Can he be specific?
They didn't pay the contractor.
Yeah, the CMCD Ravenna.
Yes. You remember even the current NIS boss, in one of the interviews, where they had said that there was high corruption in Arora and Kimorera, they said there was nothing of that nature.
But the Italians backed out. The Italians were not paid in the end.
As they should. You've seen people walk out from projects that they bid, they went through all the procurement nightmares, let me call it from time to time because it's a nightmare. They were awarded. And guess what, Igunza? The person who lost in the tendering process goes to court and stops the entire process.
Because some tenders are awarded by way of email. You remember what you read the other day?
Without even tendering.
Yes. Not all of them. And now, inside now I can tell you for a fact, I have seen a lot of malice. Just because you lose out, you say it will not continue.
Yani wivu au madharau.
Madarao. For instance, we've been talking about this thing of the airport. We had a French company that had won a tender to do it many years ago.
Before Andani.
Yes, somebody went to court. And guess what? Just like the Ravenna guys you're talking about, the French packed and go and went. They moved. There are so many other people looking for that kind of funding.
Okay, real quick before we let you go, we have 2 minutes left, and I want quick answers to this. Broad-based government, is that going to work?
It's working. It's a good thing, and I'm glad the line that Moses Kuria used the other day. Now I'm using Moses Kuria. You wanted me to use Moses Kuria. I like the line he used.
Which was Einstein.
The president, between two balancing act: do you serve the nation or do you save government? He went to save the nation. It will work. Trust me, Jeff. It will.
Number 2, Jimmy Wanjigi. Is he the new opposition leader?
No, I don't know.
You just said no, I don't know.
But I doubt. He could be, but I mean, you've seen already there's a formation led by my good brother, or our good brother, Kalonzo Musyoka.
Pia wanajeshi Haiti, familia zinateta pesa.
Hawajalipwa hapa na.
Hawajalipwa, bro.
What's happening?
14 billion serikali yako ilipewa.
I wish hiyo swali mungeuliza spokesman wa Makarao.
Lakini si wewe spokesman wa serikali.
When overall spokesman.
Kumbuka. kuna jurisdictions zina ma spokesman wao, karao, military, ikulu, inaitagwa lanes, my brother. Lanes Igunza unataka nimwage unga sana. Acha
on behalf of the government.
Like wana spokesman wao. Naweza kupatia namba yake.
Huyo tutamuuliza yake.
Wewe muulize.
Wewe una represent government. What's happening?
Hiyo right sijasikia. But
fungua
hiyo hapana, hiyo na Jovel unasema lakini sijaangalia hizo facts. In fact hata sijui, lakini naweza kutafutia hiyo information nikwambie. Kama kuna kitu kama hiyo nikwambie reasons hata ni gani.
Na ulicheki yule madha alipewa edible oil tender by way of email.
Mazee hiyo hiyo ni ngori. Hiyo ni ngori. But by the way, Jeff, let me tell you something. I go back. No. I go back to what I told you. Unajua, in government so many things have happened. Kuna gawa ya Kibaki ilikuwa na Anglo leasing, ya Moi ilikuwa na golden bag, ya Uhuru ndio hizo makemsa billionaires.
Let me
tell you, we will always have such things happening, because I told you, even though we are putting and erecting structures to fight corruption, you will still have one or a few of those.
No, it's called corruption fighting back.
But the war must continue. One thing I'm liking, namjongelea hii story. The president, yet again, said he was looking again at all those manenos ya procurement. Inaenda online. Watu wengi, they don't like it, but that is where it should be heading. Hiyo disposable act pia hiyo inaangaliwa. We are talking about PMF act, pia hiyo inaangaliwa. Because pale ile corruption iko hapo ni mingi sana.
Maybe he needs more advisors.
Yes, finally me ndaulize, nadhani president wako anasikizanga maoni ya watu. Jenzua alimwambia hatutaki urecycle CS. Akasema retirement age itakuwa ni 60. Umse wa Karawa yako 60 ndio huyo anaenda kupewa kiti. Haya, akachuja wase akina Moses Kuria, akina wale wakatolewa
na wakarudi kwa mlango mwingine.
How do you summarize that?
Does the president listen? I think without hata bila kumsifu sana, I think is among the presidents who has really come down, even with these brothers he's having, to really have a one-on-one with Mwananchi. If that is not listening, Igunza, you tell me what it is.
I think it's listening to himself.